Hello, and welcome to SpaceEngine Exploration. Alright, so looks like we are orbiting some gas giant somewhere in the Milky Way galaxy. Interesting. Whoa, that was weird. Don't know why that happened, but we'll continue on, as if it never did. Okay, this music is incredibly loud in my ears. Kinda start every episode that way, but yeah. So, let's not float around the Milky Way. Let's see if we can find another galaxy to go explore, like this one right here. I don't know what it is, it's randomly generated, but it appears to be a spiral. And let's just go find a planet somewhere in this galaxy to go mess around with. Wonder if there's anything orbiting this. Oh, interestingly, there is a black hole. That's a nice distorted effect. Oh, look at that. I didn't even know that. It also distorts the, diffraction spikes, the lens flare. Oh, that's pretty neat. I didn't know it even did that. Well, I don't think there's any planets orbiting this star system. Oh, we got orbiting around this one. Oh, okay. So we have a red supergiant here. And the music is still really loud for me. In fact, I should probably turn that down before it turns into another episode of messed up audio. So there we go. That should be a little bit more audible. Okay, so we have this giant star. It looks really cool in the picture here, but when you zoom out, it doesn't quite look the same. Got like all those dark parts on it. Oh wait, it probably okay. So it looks like that if you look at it from this angle. Okay. Go to this scorched desert, the second one over. Yeah, the star is a little bit big in the sky still. But let's go ahead and touch down. No, actually, let's mess around with the editor on this planet. Okay. So we have a bunch of moons here. Let's just go ahead and engulf those if I can. Where would the size be? I see we got mass. I can increase the mass of it to some insane like mass. Now is this thing bending light? No, doesn't look like it. That'd be cool if I increased the mass so much that it started bending light or something. We got radius here. Here we go. Okay, so I think we're... Oh. Okay, so we broke the planet, but I'm just gonna keep increasing this. Okay, so since it consumed the moons, we can see that through the planet itself. What am I even looking at? Is this like ocean? No, it's like a gas giant with no clouds. If I disable the atmosphere, it's just gone. Oh wow. So it's just like all atmosphere or something? I guess it kind of turned into like a gas giant? That's interesting. Let's go further. Okay, I can zoom the camera again. Let's correct our field of view. And let's increase it some more. Okay, so that's the maximum size we can make this planet. Oblateness. Okay, now it's a flat planet. Which, if you were wondering how I made the Earth flat in a lot of my previous videos, that is how. Like a bouncy ball. Yeah, let's go all sliders to the right and see what happens. All of them, every single slider. Just keep going to the right. Then I'm going to press the update button and the game will probably crash or something like that. Oh, that one's not quite there. What happened? Where am I? Oh. Oh god. We are outside of the galaxy because I changed the semi-major axis to be so high. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. So, I think I've officially killed the planet, but I'm just going to keep dragging these to the right and I'm going to hit update and see if the game explodes. Because I've never done this before. Oh, there's a lot of sliders. Next time I'm just going to change the terrain sliders and see what happens. It'll probably turn into some weird spiky ball or something like that, or if it's even like a ball shape anymore. Well, I guess if I add too much water, it's just going to be like flooded over. Wow, there's a lot more sliders than I recall there being. They just kind of keep going. Almost there. Leave down in the comments below what's some random editor nonsense you've done in this game. Because I read in the comments in my last video that a lot of people like to mess around with the editor. And I don't really play with it too much. I don't really have much of a reason to. Almost there. A couple thousand more of these sliders to go. This is weird. Every time I drag a slider, my keyboard lighting changes. Like it flickers, kind of. I don't know why that is. Obviously doing something horrible, though. Wow, did these ever end? I think we're at the end. And we can't change any of that, I don't think. Nope. Okay. Well, that was a big heaping waste of time. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to some suggestions. And let's just zoom out and nope, there's just nothing there. Okay. So the first one is from DMunic2GD. I guess that would be demonic? Not really too sure. Let's go ahead and paste this in, remove the, remove this question mark, and go. And here we go. Looks like we are going to some kind of quasar or something like that. That was a very bright galaxy we landed in. I can't seem to select the galaxy itself. Oh, nope, not a quasar. Okay. So what's the description on this? I found a gas giant with 6 very big moons and large rings. Just one moon is smaller than Mars, and all the other moons have an atmosphere. 2 of the moons are warm terras. One is in Oceania, and the other moons are just deserts. Okay. Well, I can see 2 of them clearly from here, because they are close enough to where they are not just points or sprites in the sky. I just turned on spacecraft mode apparently. There we go, free mode. Okay, so that would be this gas giant. Here is the warm desert. Or one of the warm deserts anyways. It's interesting that it's a warm desert. This is a warm gas giant. It's a hot gas giant. Which means we were probably in a close proximity to the star there. Let's go ahead and touch down on the surface in this crater here. Okay, so I don't see much of an atmosphere to this place. Let me make sure I have atmosphere enabled. Oh, I do. So there is an atmosphere. Oh, and there's the gas giant right there. Has a yellowish hue, I assume, because of the atmosphere. Okay. And it'll also darken the sky a little bit. We are entirely illuminated by that gas giant's reflection there on this side of the planet. If we go to the other side, we should be able to see the atmosphere a little bit more boldly, perhaps. Just touch down right in this mountain range here. Okay, so it's a little bit more pronounced when you land on the side of the planet. There's our parenting star. Okay. Looks like that is one of the Oceanias. No, that is in fact a Terra. We can see some land formations there. That's another one of the moons. Let's go ahead and fly over to that. Okay, so we're getting some interesting colors here. Looks like bluish terrain and a very, very saturated blue atmosphere. There's the parenting star again. There is the gas giant. And I think this is the desert we were on. It's just a lot smaller than this Terra. And there's another one of the deserts, and there's one of the Oceanias. Let's go ahead and jump over to that in just a moment. I'll keep it selected. I don't think there's any life on this planet, not that I could tell at least. Okay. So we got some bumpy hills. It looks like life, but I don't think is life. Because we don't have any green planets here. And the ocean, which is slowly fading away from us. There's like a post-processing or some kind of effect there. You see how the ocean renders in? That's the actual ocean, but all of this is just so when you look at it from up high, it looks kind of natural. But once you start flying into it, it fades away, and then like the actual ocean model is over here, which it looks like we have a greenish tinted ocean. Very cool. Let's go ahead and jump over to the next desert over. And from here, we can see both of these planets here. Or I guess technically moons, since they're orbiting around a gas giant. Okay, so we have a very red looking atmosphere, which looks cool in contrast with this volcano. I mean, look at this. That's a very cool effect. Okay. There's another volcano. It's a very cool looking world. I like the red hue of the atmosphere. It looks very... looks like I'd be playing Doom or something like that. That's very cool. Very hellish looking. And let's zoom out and see if we can spot another moon. I think that's our next one over. What's this? Oh, this is the Oceania that we saw in the background. Nothing really to land on here, nothing too special, and we see that it is illuminated by the gas giant on this side. In fact, we could even see a hurricane. And another cyclone being merged into this cyclone. And I'm just going to visit this one. It's another warm desert, but this one has a different appearance. Let's see. I want to say it might have a thicker atmosphere. Oh yeah, that is a much more visible atmosphere. And there's our gas giant in the sky. It's still fully saturated. Didn't really take on too much saturation from the color of this atmosphere, though. That's pretty cool. You know what would be cool is if I could just render the planets as planets instead of points in the sky. I know there's a setting like right here, but it doesn't really change it, I don't think. No, it basically does the same thing. As you can see, it fades to a sprite right about this point. Pay attention to this planet here. It'd be cool if I could just keep the planets constantly rendered. But I can totally understand why they do that. Probably for performance reasons. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Okay, fantastic video. Though I have a question, how can your laptop even run the textures well and fast? My laptop runs at 8 FPS when running this game. Do you have any suggestions? You just need a good laptop. This game is very demanding. Like, you're gonna need a good Intel CPU or Ryzen-based machine, and possibly like a GTX 9 series or above to run this game at like decent performance. And you better have at least 8 gigs of RAM available. It's a pretty demanding game, but it does a lot. And I have motion blur for these planets enabled, so there's only like very few things blurring up in the sky. So I'm just gonna go ahead and change that real quick. In my case, I have a pretty powerful laptop, so yeah. If I were to recommend some specs, I would probably aim for like a GTX 1050 of some kind, and possibly some kind of i3 or higher, and 8 gigs of RAM. The i3 could be like any generation of Intel, like 4th generation and above. You're gonna get nearly the same IPC between like 4th generation and 8th generation probably. And that is core performance, how fast the CPU is per core. But I would recommend probably an i5 of some kind and a GTX 1050 Ti or like a 960 or 780 possibly. And that would be running this game pretty well at 1080p. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from Retrograde. Hey there. Wow, it just so happens we have very similar usernames, lol. I have a suggestion. I insert ID here. It's a temperate terror with a very Earth-like 95% ESI that is in a triple star system near a beautiful nebula. And at night you can see that the orbit/rotation is aligned. There we go. Took me a moment to select that ID. Alright, here we go. Temperate terror with life. ESI of 95%, a mass very similar to Earth, but it has rings. Does look like it has a large supercontinent on it, or possibly just a continent. A temperature of -2 degrees Celsius, so it's a pretty cool planet in comparison to Earth. The atmospheric composition is CO2 and oxygen, so if we were to be on this atmosphere, I'm not going to say it would be impossible to survive, but it would not be healthy for us to immediately transfer to a planet like this. If the primary atmospheric material is CO2, we would probably fall unconscious or basically just have some kind of like asphyxiation or something like that. It would not be a very good situation. But we do have a lot of plant life here, which is probably what's converting the CO2 to oxygen. The atmospheric pressure is 1.21 atmospheres, which is a little bit more dense than Earth, but something we can definitely manage in. It's the CO2 in the atmosphere that would be the main concern. And obviously it's very cool, so you'd want to migrate somewhere closer to the equator on a planet like this. And the rotational period is 3 to 1, so this planet rotates very slowly. The orbital period is only 23 days, but the rotational period, each rotation of this planet, takes 35 Earth days. So if I were to move this to... Here we go. This is, I believe, 50,000 times real time. We can see that it is moving very slowly. However, if we go to somewhere like Earth with the same time scale, we can see that it's rotating rapidly, like possibly 1 time per second. So, yeah. That's just kind of a comparison of how slow this planet is rotating. And there is the beautiful nebula I assume they were referring to, and we are in a beautiful blue galaxy. So, a very colorful sky this planet has. In fact, let's go ahead and halt the simulation, or I guess the game, or engine, or whatever you want to call it, and land right in the center of the cyclone and look up at the sky. Now that is trippy looking, but that's not actually what I was trying to do. That just sidetracked me. I was going to land over here, so we can see the night sky and see how colorful this galaxy is in the sky. Making for a very beautiful view. And the sun obviously set in that direction, I think. It looks pretty bright over there, so I assume so. There's the center of this galaxy, and I think that's the nebula we're looking at, unless that is a separate one. And you can even see the rings in the sky, so... This planet has a very, very beautiful night sky in comparison to something like Earth. Oh wait, maybe that wasn't the nebula I was looking at, because that is the one. Interesting. Yeah, that's a completely separate nebula over there. Pretty cool. And obviously, yeah, we have that nebula lighting up the night sky over there. Over there we can see a colorful globular cluster. I think I have the star saturation turned up because you can see a huge mix of both blue and yellow stars in there. There is our parenting star with our cool lens flare effect we have enabled. And there's another star, because he did mention this is a triple star system. So we have an orange dwarf over there. If we go ahead and hit F2, we can see we have a system here of 2 stars. So there's 2 stars in that system over there and 1 star here. These 2 are orbiting each other, it looks like. Yep, they certainly are. 2 small red dwarfs. Oh, no wait, that one's technically an orange dwarf. And we were on the one planet with life that is in this system. Let's go ahead and rotate around and check out the life texture that we have. It looks like it's going to be purple or something. And we have some snow peaks here. because it is a pretty cool planet. Yep, there is our Zerg life forms. Pretty soon here, they're going to start spawning hatcheries, which will eventually evolve into lairs. And then they're just going to rush us with Guardians and Mutalisks. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from Harless Kerman. See if I can get this selected. There we go. Let's go ahead and paste this in. And here we go, a warm Terra with life. And it looks like it's tidally locked. You can tell by the giant cyclone on the face of the planet. It is tidally locked with its parent star there. As you can see under the rotational period, which is over here on the left-hand side of the screen, it says its rotational period is the same as its orbital period, 1-to-1. So it does rotate, it only rotates once while it's orbiting around this star. So it's locked with it. Looks like it's in the Milky Way galaxy. I do see the small Magellanic Cloud, and there's the large one. We have this parent star here, and then we have another star here. Let's go ahead and read the description. It's a Terra planet with some quite toasty temperatures. So we are sitting at 66 degrees Celsius, which means for us to inhabit it, we would probably have to be closer to the poles, which would be more like the tropics here on Earth. In fact, I don't even see any polar caps. Oh, and we're also close to the Carina Nebula. Let's go ahead and get this off the screen. I do understand that the HUD is quite a bit bigger since I am playing at 720p rather than my standard resolution. So this side of the planet would be incredibly cool, but always nighttime. This side of the planet never really sees the parenting star, as I'll show you as we rotate around. But it is illuminated because we have another star over there. So we kind of have this bizarre day-night cycle, and I really like how the star, as it sets, turns blue. That's pretty cool. And as you can see flickering in the sky as we rotate around, we do have a parenting moon, or a couple of parenting moons. But this is what we essentially see on the backside of this planet for, I guess, the orbital period of this star around the other star, because I assume it fades over time as these two stars rotate around each other. Yeah, you can see that it just whipped all the way around. So, that's pretty cool. Now it's like basically always nighttime on this side of the planet. And this side of the planet is getting some additional illumination. In fact, you can see over here that this star has rotated around to a point where it's illuminating a completely different side of the planet. So this side over here, where it's daylight from this star, always daylight from the star, is getting some additional illumination from that star. So we have two stars in the sky. Very cool. And as you can see over there, we do have the Carina Nebula, which was visible from the nighttime side of the sky. And here's the auroras. Now let's just go ahead and watch this cyclone do its work. We're not rotating with the planet. Can I get close enough to do so? Rotate with object. Here we go. And let's just slow it down so the moon's not so spastically moving through the air. Let's see if we can get rid of the HUD. I recall there being a hotkey for this, but I forgot what it was. And while this rotates around, I'm going to go look for the next suggestion. The next one is from Cosmic Wanderer. Oh, wait. I'm going to read this comment here. Cool Potato Kid Dude, with a Doge as an avatar, says, "You sound different." Yes, I'm using a different microphone. I'm actually using the second microphone I had on this channel. For, like, episodes, I'm going to say 15 through, like, 50 of SpaceEngine Exploration, I was using this microphone. So, I don't sound different, I just sound like I did way back in, like, early 2017. Possibly late 2016. So, that's why I sound different. I'm not using the other mic that I have. Well, I don't even have it anymore. So that's why I'm not using it. And there you go. There's your answer to that. I do plan on looking into getting the Samsung Q2U It's like $55 or like $60. It's somewhere between $50 and $60. But I hear it's a really good microphone. And it comes with a lot of accessories. So I'm thinking that might be my next microphone. And I don't know when I'm going to be able to get it because I can't really afford anything right now. But I might upgrade to that. And hopefully that will sound good. Or at least similar to my previous microphone. Not that this one sounds bad, at least I hope not. This should sound pretty good. This is not a cheap microphone either. This is the Mod Mic, I think 4.0 or 5.0, I forget. If you guys are wondering, it's a microphone that basically you put like a little sticky magnet onto your headphones, and then it just sticks to that. But it sounds way better than basically any other headset microphone on the market. But you have to run it through a USB sound card or else it sounds like trash. So this next one is from Cosmic Wanderer. I suppose you could call this a forest moon of Ender. I don't know the reference. I don't watch really anything at all. Because it's a terror with life, orbiting a gas giant but only has a few lakes. Orbiting a gas giant only has a few lakes, but only has a few lakes. There's words missing. And okay, a few lakes and seas located in the North Pole, and the rest of the planet is just green. Not a single desert here. I'm not sure how this could happen, but here it is. Okay. Not a single desert. Yep, that's green. What are these then? What are these dark blue areas? These could potentially be deserts. Nope, it is a lot more green. In fact, what we'll do is disable the atmosphere. This should give us a little bit of an advantage. So I assume this is the North Pole. It does have a few seas and lakes. In fact, those are... I think this is a crater. I don't even think it's... Let's just land in it. Well, it's not pitch black. What is our altitude? We are 2 kilometers under the surface, which tells me no, that is in fact not a crater. Craters go much deeper than that in this game. And they always seem to like generate at like 7 kilometers deep or something like that. And I think he's right about the desert thing. I don't see a desert at all. So this is literally just a ball of plant life. Let's turn up the ambient lighting so we can see the other side. Yeah, no sign of a desert whatsoever. It is a planet of just pure plant life. This is a huge jungle world, I guess. We're gonna go ahead and touch down here. I do have the atmosphere disabled. Oh, gives us a pretty cool view of what I can only assume is... Is that the Milky Way? Yeah, that's the Milky Way. And there's our parenting gas giant. Let's go ahead and reset our lighting. There we go. And turn on our atmosphere and touch down right here. As it transitions to nighttime, I believe. We can see the small Magellanic Cloud and large Magellanic Cloud. And apparently if I go into the settings and turn on automatic exposure, this is something more of what we would visibly see. I don't know if that galaxy would be visible. I don't know if we'd be able to see the Milky Way through this. But it is transitioning nighttime, which would make it possible to see the Milky Way. But normally only at like midnight to, I'm gonna say like 4 AM would you see the Milky Way. At least on Earth. Here, I'm not too sure. But if the automatic exposure is accurate to what the human eye would see, then I guess you can see the Milky Way pretty early on in the night sky. So the atmospheric composition, similar to that other planet, it is CO2 and oxygen, but the atmospheric pressure on this planet is 7 times that of Earth. So there's a lot of gas on the surface of this planet. In fact, something like a windstorm would blow you away a lot harder on a planet like this. Let's see. The mass is 0.2 times the mass of Earth. Is that accurate? It's based on Earth, right? If I select Earth. Yes, so this is only 26% the mass of Earth. I guess it is a moon. But it has a diameter of like 8,000 kilometers, while Earth has a diameter of 12,000. So, It's only like 1/3 off, or like 25% less radius than Earth, but only like 25% the total mass. So this is not a very dense planet at all. Interesting. I assume a lot of that mass is possibly due to the atmosphere, but the atmosphere of Earth, it doesn't really make up that much of the mass of Earth. I'm a little perplexed by this. Yeah, I don't know what would be causing that. But the ESI is 90%. Interesting. It's a very beautiful planet, though. Let's go ahead and change the exposure to not be automatic, so we can see everything in the sky. And you can see the auroras kind of flickering back there. What if I changed it 3 times real time? How fast do these auroras move? I don't think the aurora quality is even turned up. Let me go ahead and turn that up. Most of these settings are stock, as you can tell. Qualities. Here we go. Now we can see a much more detailed aurora, moving at 3 times the speed. I can see a little bit of movement. It's kind of more of like a color shift than the aurora's moving. You can see it if you watch back here. Very cool effect. I always wonder what it would look like in real life if you're just staring at them for a while. Like how much they would really move, or if you would really have to get like a time-lapse camera out to truly tell the difference without, like, you know, peeking every once in a while. We are not too far from the solar system. That is Barnard's Loop over there, and there's the Orion Nebula, Flame Nebula, etc. But we're at a completely different angle. It doesn't look right at all. And there is Carina Nebula. We were just there a little while ago. Okay. Oh, and I'm on a better computer now, so when I fly to the center of galaxies, it doesn't lag as bad. It still lags a little bit, but not nearly as bad. Like in the last video I kind of showed you guys, it was running terrible. Well, I think this is... No, that's just a star. That's the black hole in the center of the galaxy. So as you can see, I'm looking around and I don't know what frame rate I'm getting, but it's well over 60. So this new computer is pretty good, but I have a lot of stuff to get rid of. I wanted to get something that was better at recording though, because I was kind of disappointed in the performance of the other computer, and I was worried about it crashing a lot with this game, and I kind of wanted something that could run SpaceEngine pretty well. Okay, so the last suggestion is from Deck Bureau. Let me go ahead and try to select this. Okay, there it goes. I was double tapping G, it just wasn't going. Okay, so this is White Main Sequence Star. It's a binary. It's very bright, as you can tell. Trying to like lower my speed so I could actually get close to these. So it looks like a yellow dwarf. No, it's a red dwarf and a White Main Sequence Star. That White Main Sequence Star is probably not too much bigger than the sun, if not something probably comparable to the sun. Oh, and we do have planets around this one. Usually when Deck Bureau makes suggestions, there's typically not planets. In fact, there's one with life right over here. Okay. So there's our parenting gas giant. We can see our binary star system, not really too clearly, but once we land in this atmosphere, hopefully it'll diffuse the light, or, well, block out enough light that we will be able to see it. At least get rid of all that glare. No, can't really see it. The exposure is just too high. But this is a very neat effect. Like, that's incredibly colorful. The terrain detail, as you can tell, is not really turned up too high. I'm going to adjust this. Let's just turn this up to, like, 0.4. I want to leave the loading speed the same. Go ahead and just turn up planet shine, I guess. You know, I think this is fine. I don't think I really need to tweak it a little bit more. Maybe a little bit on the auroras, just because I do like that effect. Okay, so hopefully the terrain works a little bit better. I did notice a little bit of an FPS drop, though. It's not rendering that great. I was hoping it kind of would, but no. Is it going to load if I just wait here? No, I have no clue what's causing it to be so spiky. Like, I can continue to increase this, but I mean, while that fixes it, that's not the proper solution. It shouldn't be that spiky from this close. That's weird. I changed it to spacecraft mode again. 1. There we go. Not sure. That's weird. If we go ahead and just zoom in, can we see the 2 stars? Oh, I think one's actually behind the other. It's gonna be flickering a bit. Oh yeah, that's right. This is the moon of a gas giant. Oh, I think the red star. No. Not too sure. Can't get it to like show both the stars in the sky. Maybe the red star was in front of it and that's what was giving its red tint. Yeah, I guess when you zoom in, it just kind of looks white. That was probably it. We were probably looking at the red star. It was just like being drowned out in the light of the other star. And we were in a globular cluster. And yeah, we were in the Milky Way galaxy as well. Or maybe that wasn't the Milky Way galaxy. No, I don't think that is the Milky Way galaxy, even though it has a texture. I don't see the Magellanic Clouds anywhere. Interesting. So we were in like a Milky Way clone galaxy. Those are pretty common. NGC 6872 looks like the Milky Way, I guess. And I don't know if I turned up the exposure, but we can see a lot of stars here, or galaxies rather, and they're a lot brighter than they typically are. I wonder if that's just because I haven't reduced like the there's a setting here. Yes, scale. If I turn this down, then yeah, it looks a little bit less crazy. One thing you could do is turn down the overbright, which would stop like stars from rendering as much if you're having performance problems, and just turn up the scale. It'll still make the sky look pretty full, but it will reduce the amount of stars. Also, what you can do to increase performance for those who have performance issues in the game is just turn down the star magnitude significantly, and then when you go into a galaxy, it'll perform a lot better. Let me just go ahead and get like the sun selected here. Press the S key so I'm not flying away constantly. And yeah, basically this will run great. You can't really see many stars in the sky. In fact, all we're really seeing is planets because I turned it down that much. But if I set this to a value of, let's say this, we can kind of see more in the sky. Let's go ahead and correct our field of view here. So yeah, you can do that, and mainly what you're going to see is like the brightest stars and the most significant ones. Like, I can probably select Betelgeuse, which I think is this one. No, it's Bellatrix. This is Betelgeuse. And yeah, you're going to see like the brightest stars that we would normally be able to see with the naked eye if you just turn down the star whatever. So now we're only seeing the brightest stars. There's a little bit more what we would see like if we were in like a city or something with a lot of bright lights on the surface of our planet. With our naked eye, of course. Anyways, that's going to be it for this episode. If you guys like this video, please subscribe, and until next time, I will see you in the next video.